of applied behavioral spirit. I can help with everything from tantrums and meltdowns to fears and phobias, behaviors around trauma. If you need to get a hold of me, 984-235-1058.
And the best trait about you, you can know how to get a goat back into the crate or into the pen. I witnessed
This
that
is
here
true.
this past week. There you go. Again, our phone number here, 919-618-9258, 919-618-9258. If you want to be a part of the program, we would love to have you here today. So with sports really kicking off, we talk a little bit about I throw my son on the bus all the time on this program, which is, it is what it is. Our baseball season kicks off on Monday, beginning at 6 p.m. right here at the Oxford Rec. But for a lot of younger kids, season is about to kick off between baseball and soccer. I think soccer and cheerleading are about to kick off here this week. So let's kind of dive in. The emotions of sports for little kids can be dramatic. I mean, let's be honest.
Absolutely.
So this past year was my very first year coaching the T-ball team here in town. At one point, there's only 11 on the field. At one point, there was 8 kids sitting on the ground. So as an adult, I got to take a step back. They're only 5 and 6 years old. So I speak to them like they're my varsity team back at the high school. And so I think the parents appreciate that anyway. But emotional wise for the coach or the parent, they're only 5 years old. Mm-hmm. But as the kid, it can be a whole dramatic thing for a 5 to 6, even the younger than that. So let's kind of dive into that to kind of control that emotion as a parent. What should we say and look for before something really goes off?
Absolutely. So there's a couple of things to consider here, and I talk about this a lot when I'm talking about tantrums and meltdowns. There's a difference between the two. So we've got the, I lost and I wish I won, I want that thing tantrum. And we've got there's a bunch of people looking at me, the sun is hot, I didn't maybe drink enough water, I refused sunscreen, I'm just overdone meltdown. So starting to look at these situations and going, okay, what do I think I'm dealing with here? It could also be a mixture of both. Because of course, if I'm already overwhelmed with a bunch of sensory inputs, I'm going to be much more sensitive to those I missed the ball, the person didn't throw to me, we lost the game sort of moments. So trying to figure out what am I working with here can help us to begin.
And as I'm drinking my coffee.
Yeah.
It's that kind of morning. That's where to begin is really the hardest part. We can prepare them. We can have conversation with them. We can prepare as a coach. We can prepare the parents for that moment. But until you actually get out there and do it. I've actually had kids before run off, and I love this kid. I'm not going to call him on the radio because I don't have a consent with the parent.
Good on you.
Yeah, I got you. But at one point, they run off because they have to go to the bathroom, and they just peace out. I said, bro, where are you going? What are you doing? He said, Coach, I got to go. I said, well, fine. Then we were down one man. He's our first baseman. And so we can prepare them for a situation. But once we get out there, we have to say, hey, it might change. Something might change. You mentioned before, you might get out at home, or you might get out at first. I might lose. I might win by 10 or whatever it is. And so that's a tough thing to go through.
Absolutely. And when we're talking about older kids, we might talk about visualizing the win and bringing that into fruition. When we're talking about younger ones, part of it is going to be thinking about what matters most, what skill am I actually teaching in this moment? If it's the skill of winning, then that's one skill. If it's the skill of teamwork, that's a totally different skill. You can have fantastic teamwork and end up not winning the game. So considering with all the adults, what are the skills we really want to teach these young kids to make sure that that is what we're focused in on, and that we don't lose track of that for the fun of the competition or because something else is shiny and we want to chase that as well. It can be so difficult because sports in and of themselves have so many different skills to choose from, and different people involved on the team might have different goals.
This is a perfect conversation, and we want to advise. A lot of times we kind of cuff a lot of things on this show where we're going to go this direction, we're going to go that direction, and then end up going a whole different direction.
Absolutely.
Ironically, I received a text thing this morning from our coaching side of the high school that I coach at there in Vance County. It goes, we should be lifting each other up and cheering each other on, not trying to outshine one another. The sky will be awfully dark with just one star. And I thought, that's perfect for what we're talking about here today. And so I want you to now you're talking to the parents. You're
Mhm.
not talking to the individual itself. As a parent, what should we do to have to lead up to the situation that something might be crazy, might be scary, might change? Give me a conversation of what to tell the kid to prepare for that.
Absolutely. So, my biggest focus with my young kids is having a very clear signal that something has changed and it's going to be okay. So, for example, if I'm working in a situation of, hey, the schedule might change today, we thought we were going to have time to go to ice cream before, we're going to go after. So, in sports or otherwise, often I'll teach a signal like, hey, I need to make a change. It's okay, it's just different. Like, this is a statement of something's going to change, but it's all under control. We're still going to get all the things that we thought we were. It's still going to run smooth. I got you. And by helping teach that phrase and that connection to it's going to be all right, we can ease that like panic of, oh no, it's different. Like, what is happening? I had this whole plan, but it's not quite the same. We can do the same thing around sports where we go, hey, sometimes it'll change. And if you're suddenly feeling overwhelmed, especially for our little ones, all you've got to do is, send a signal up, hold up an arm, tell coach, give me, two winks and a clap,
Yeah.
whatever it might
Yeah.
be, to give that like, oh, we're again on the meltdown side, we're kind of near a meltdown. We are overwhelmed. This is no longer a moment where we can learn. We just need to step back and take a break for a second, take a little water break. And if we start to go, okay, we can have these communication moments of something is different, it's unexpected, and here's some support and directions that we can go to make it okay, but just different. Then we can be in a good spot to move forward. It's not going to be perfect the first time. This is a skill in and of itself.
Kellie Syfan joins us here for Behavior 911. She is with Applied Behavior Happiness. My name is Trace 9 on behalf of our local talk here on Next Door Radio. If you missed any of our shows, you can head over to the podcast section on the website at nextdoorradio.com. Go under the Applied Behavior Happiness, and all the videos that we've ever done are sitting right there. So I want to go two different ways here.
Mm-hmm.
One is the winning side, okay? Because as a coach, we want to win. As
Absolutely.
a player, we want to win. And then on the second part of that, we'll go into the losing side. But the first, let's talk about the winning side. Now speaking to the child, how can we prepare them? Say, hey, yes, you're a great athlete. Yes, you have a great team, but you still need to show sportsmanship, the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about that a little bit.
So often we'll call that winning with grace. So going through and going, okay, what does it look like to win with grace? What does it look like to be a sore winner? Often we'll talk about sore losers, but there's also sore winners, people who will showboat or do all sorts of different things. And talking about what we expect in the case of a win and practicing that when there's no competition in place. Like, hey, as part of practice, we're going to practice what we do when we win so that we've already got that little bit of muscle memory. So we don't fall into the I'm teasing the other team or, I'm getting way, way too big about this in this moment when I need to have a good sportsmanship moment. It truly comes down to practicing and setting those expectations.
Love it. And now on the losing side, of course, we love to win. We love to be able to say, hey, and showboat to your friends. Say, hey, we won. That's a great thing.
Yep.
But on the other end, there's going to be times where not everybody is a winner. We
Yes.
want to say that you are because you did fantastic. You're not always going to win, though. And that's a lot of the conversation we have. Yes, we played fantastic, but it just one or two things didn't go our way. And we've been there before, or one or two innings. And so now go on the conversation on the losing side, what to prepare them and what to talk about a little bit more when that happens.
Absolutely. So it's a skill in and of itself to be able to sit in that discomfort and not need to explode and not need to rationalize and just go, yeah, today it didn't go our way. And that's uncomfortable and it doesn't feel as good as winning. But I can withstand this moment knowing that tomorrow I can try again. So creating that skill of now is uncomfortable. I don't need to be saved from this discomfort. I can make it to tomorrow and try again is something that we're going to want to think about. And that's a greater skill than we can really dig into today. But we can talk about the conversation in the moment. And I love what you're saying about, hey, here's the ways that we really rocked it as a team. And a couple of different things didn't go our way. Here's some things that we might change for next time. Also going in and recognizing that different kids are going to have different levels of support needs. So some kids are going to need to be completely alone and have a snack and sit in the shade for a little bit before they're able to rejoin the team and have that productive conversation, while other kids will need to almost be distracted and just play with each other for a few minutes, and then they're able to have that constructive conversation. It may not be you're able to get to it as quickly with everyone as you would like. You might need to spend a little bit of time figuring out ahead of time what does each kiddo need in this case to be able to come forward as a good sportsman and to have that productive conversation.
Fantastic. And Kellie Syfan joins us here by way of our local talk for Behavior at 911. This is part of the program where we like to highlight what you have going on at the farm or at the office, any the programs that you have coming up. Because I do know you do have some fantastic things that are happening, not only at the farm, because we witnessed that, but what are some things that are coming up?
Absolutely. So we are fully launching the Tantrums and Meltdowns
Good deal.
library. Yes. So I have a bunch of experts that have put videos in. I've got a ton of vetted resources. You get lifetime access to the whole library as it grows, as well as access to group meetings. That's going to be fully launching at the end of this month, end of March. With that, if you want to do a 12-week intensive with me, more than happy to do that. If you just want the library, all the resources, and being able to meet as a group with people who really get it because they're there for the same things, fantastic. That's there for you too.
There you go. Well, we love you. We appreciate you. God bless you. And one more time, how can they get a hold of you?
Absolutely. Two best ways to get a hold of me, 984-235-1058, or go on the website, appliedbehavioralhappiness.com.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. Be safe on the way home, okay?
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Until next time, my name is Trey Snide on behalf of our local